Hello, everyone. My tablet's doing some weird stuff. uh, but all is well otherwise, and let us continue our journey to God's heart. Truly God's heart. Yes. And we are in. I got work to do. As you can tell, I'm ready for the garden. I got my sweatband on again. Yes. And, so cute. So, I built this fence kind of out of whatever there was here, and it looks, I think it looks okay, but it's definitely not steady art. And around just here so that I could already do some planting and this and that, and keep the dogs out of it and all that. So I did that, and my daughter, all of my children actually, for Mother's Day, they got me a real fence. Yeah, like a little picket fence. Yeah. So yesterday she started staining it out there, and it looks really good. So it's one of those things I thought, how sweet. Here I put up this makeshift. Okay, makeshift actually looks really good. The fence looks really good. And here my children said, Mom needs better than that. Must have done something right somewhere. Yes. And of course, yeah. Gosh. Truly, truly. Wonderful. Living a life for the sake of your family. Living a life for the sake of your children and doing it with a joyful heart has immense rewards towards the end of our lives. I find that. That's what I find. I'm not in anyone else's shoes. I'm in my shoes. I'm in my body. And that's kind of, I thought about that today. I am in my body. I'm in no one else's body. I'm in my body. And it's almost as if this is just a shell. This is just a shell of me. This is how I am here on earth. And what is inside of me? What have I given? What have I been able to receive? And what have I given throughout my life? And it's not about my body. It's about the give and take that you have when you have dedicated, joyfully dedicated your life to what is most important to our Heavenly Parent, to be a good parent yourself. Yes? Okay, just saying. And yes, of course we all struggle. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't know. If I were to know what I know now, then I probably would have done some things differently. Yes? Yeah. But you learn from your experiences. Yes? And then try to restore them if there is something so bad or that needs restoring. So I'm in my shoes. I can't speak for anyone out there in their shoes. Yes? What I can do, though, is give an example out there of a life where, wow, to dedicate your life. Once you decided to have a husband or a wife and have children, to dedicate yourself 100% to that. Best thing ever. Just saying. Anywho, so we are in Ecclesiastes 8. Well, yes, absolutely. All I just said now. Today is Saturday, day before Easter, and everything I just said, my brother Jesus feels exactly the same way. The same way. With all the sorrow, with all the persecution and judgment against him, he's not, he's, he has dedicated the time that he had here on earth, he dedicated as a teacher, as a son, as a brother. Yes, sadly, he was never a husband or a father, per se, on earth here. Yes. But that's the amazing thing about our brother Jesus. I never feel any resentment or even regret. I just feel, oh, is this embrace? How is this just, which tells me that Jesus was very content, really, on earth, in his shoes, and what he was doing. He was content, and in his absolute way, more successful than anyone else. Yeah. Just saying. Okay. Oh, I said it. Yes. I wanted to just continue on. And suddenly I felt this presence. Yes. Oh, is Jesus visiting? Yes. Believe it or not. Done. All right. So let's do this together. I'll listen to your guidance. That's beautiful. So we are in the book of Ecclesiastes 8. Who compares with the sage? Who else knows how to explain things? What did I start out with? Oh my gosh. I am fighting this cold with all my might. Or my body is. And my body is doing a good job. I did pick up a little bit more of that cough, yeah. So, but I'm working on it, so we're okay. I got my Mullen. Yes, Mullen tea is on the menu. All right, but this started out funny. Wisdom lights up the face, enlivening a grim expression. Obey the king's command, and because of the divine promise, be in no hurry to depart from it. King's command. You can so tell that this guy is in political strife or whatever. So it sounds good, and then it goes into this: why would I have to obey a king's command? Not gonna do that unless, okay. What's the command actually? Why not? That's it. Why do we have to have earthly? I'm not in the shoes of any king or queen. I'm in my shoes, like I said before. But what should we obey? What should the Israelites have obeyed to, and lived with exclusively? God's commandments. God's command. Yes? Here, it's always going back to, and why? Why even mention it? Why? If someone at the top of the power pyramid is doing an absolutely great job, the people will follow automatically. And will do what needs to be done for what? The better of the king or the president or whatever leader needs to have all that jazz, power, and money and I don't know what. No, they're doing it for the better of everyone. And slowly, that's it. One were to have just one person like that in the position that they want to be in for the right reasons, suddenly that pyramid of someone needing, Yertle the turtle, needing to be up on the top. If there were someone who says, I'm doing this for all of you, we're doing this together in the absolute appropriate way according to God's will and ideal for mankind, that pyramid wouldn't collapse. It would even out slowly. Yes? Isn't that the truth? Now, the Tower of Babel. Okay. It's like, oh, it was all these different languages, and that suddenly then they couldn't communicate. Seriously? If everybody would have known their job there and how to build that tower higher, then what's the big deal? So you don't speak the same language anymore. You still know how to do things, don't you? It's not like they lost their arms and legs. Couldn't lift anything anymore, this or that. Come on now. And how tall was that tower already? I'm just saying. Right? So what is that story all about, really? I think it's more about the different opinions on what actually is right from wrong. Right and what is wrong. Right? Yes, that was the problem, not the languages. Yeah. Yes. It's a weird example. I don't quite get why. Oh, how would I know that? Because I worked with plenty of people together in all different kinds of projects that didn't speak my language, and I didn't speak theirs, and yet we could still work together because the knowledge was there in what direction one went. If we all move in the same direction, then guess what? What does it matter? You see? Okay, I'm just saying. King, obey the king's command because of the divine promise. Of what? What divine promise? From whom? There wasn't one. God never wanted a king. Okay, you know what? Be in no hurry to depart from it. Do not be obstinate in a bad cause. Oh, that could be. Do not be obstinate in a bad cause, since the king will do as he likes in any case. Really? Oh, I see. Or is this again his way of expressing on how it's not going to matter what I'm going to do anyway? Because the king's going to do whatever. And again, my next one is going to get cut off. It could be understood that way as well. Since the word of a king is sovereign, what is the point of saying, why do that? One who obeys the command will come to no harm. There you go. The heart of the sage knows the right moment and verdict, for there is a right moment and verdict for everything. But misfortune lies heavy upon anyone who does not know what the outcome will be. No one is going to say how things will turn out. No one can control the wind and stop it from blowing. No one can control the day of death. From war there is no escape. No more can wickedness save the person who commits it. Okay, I've already said a lot to all this. Okay, and again, so, well, there are so many people out there, right, all throughout history, who defended another person's life, threatened by someone that was what? Yeah, a bad cause. So many people have stood in front of others without a weapon, without anything, and said, well, you're not bullying that one. You're going to have to go through me first. And they give their lives. And it didn't make a difference for the other person either, because they were just behind them, right? Yes? The thing is that if everyone were to do that, what an odd change that would bring when it comes down to it. And again, I know that this, in the way that this is being, where this is coming from, the base for this, the foundation for this, has nothing to do really with what I just said. But it's in here in the Bible now. It's supposed to be for the masses, right? It's supposed to be for everyone. I'm supposed to learn something from this. And what I'm gleaning out of here is, don't do anything. Even if you see bad things happening, don't do anything. There's a right time for everything. Okay, well, I mean, there may be some instances where one says, okay, I guess I'll step in later. This is not such a big deal, or do I need to have anything? They're going to come to their senses on their own. But if someone's, especially children, are being bullied right in front of my eyes, do you think I'm not going to do anything? Oh, let's wait for the right time. This is bad. I could get knifed right now. Not just this kid. Seriously? How are people picking up these kind of stories here now? If they're being read in churches or whatever. I don't know if they are. I, honest to God, have never heard of in church about this dude. Not once. So let's keep going. I'll just get off track. This sounds more like, let's procrastinate. Yep, sounds good. I have seen all this to be so, having carefully studied everything taking place under the sun, while one person tyrannizes over another to the former's detriment. Oh, wow. Okay. And again, I have, you know what? You become more and more unpalatable. Oh, I said it right this time. And again, I have observed the wicked carried to their graves, and people leaving the holy place, and once out in the city, forgetting how the wicked used to behave, how futile this is too. Because the sentence on the evildoer is not carried out on the instant, people's hearts are full of desire to do wrong. The sinner who does wrong 100 times lives on. But this too I know, that there is good in store for people who fear God, because they fear him. So why is it suddenly that I know that there is good in store for people who fear God because they fear him? Then why does he say over here, obey the king's command, and because of the divine promise, be in no hurry to depart from it? Wow, that's an interesting one. Why not apply this to God? Why does God have to be feared? And say it over here as it is. Right? Fear God. Fear the king. Because if you don't do what he wants, because, he gets to do whatever because he's the king, you're going to lose your life. You can't replace God, can you? You can't grab God and say, well, I want another God. Well, some people try to do that too. This is kind of funny. But you can do that with a king. That's not. No, we don't. One person, one king, and a few people around him. What? Have that much power? How does that make sense? And hundreds of thousands of Israelites can't just say, we're done with you. We're done with this king stuff. Where are the Levites again to guide the people? Nowhere to be seen. Is this a Levite? I don't think so. No. He's an assemblyman. Okay. But again, in the way that God is portrayed here and on how the king is portrayed, neither is good. But there is no good in store for the wicked because he does not fear God. And so, like a shadow, he will not prolong his days. He just called the king wicked here as well. Yet, he also says, because of the divine promise. It's like a divine promise, something rather. This guy's so conflicted. Anyway, another futile thing that happens on earth, upright people being treated as though they were wicked, and wicked people being treated as though they were upright. To me, this is one more example of futility. Okay. Well, to this day, I have to give him those couple sentences. There is truth to that, but we already talked about all that. And therefore I praise joy. Oh, what? Suddenly? Since human happiness lies only in eating and drinking and in taking pleasure. Oh, that's why he praises joy. This comes from what someone achieved during the days of life that God gives under the sun. What? Having applied myself to acquiring wisdom and to observing the activity taking place in the world, for day and night our eyes enjoy no rest. I have scrutinized God's whole creation. You cannot get to the bottom of everything taking place under the sun. You may wear yourself out in a search, but you will never find it. This guy's not afraid of God either. How could you say, I have scrutinized? That's scrutinizing something is not positive. Whole creation. Not even a sage can get to the bottom of it, even if he says that he has done so. That's the end of 8. Wow, interesting. It's difficult to know about this person if he is if he is humble actually, and really has, except for I'm going to observe because that's all I can do, and I will write it down. How much truth are we actually getting here when it comes to the society of the Israelites, or rather their politics, the kings? Yes, God's very much a part of it, but in what way? Is it actually the presence of God? Or is it just, well, again, they grew up with all that. And yes, God's being pulled into whatever is desirable or not desirable. Just whatever. Nilly willy, God's pulled into it when it is convenient. Yes? Yeah? Or is this guy just absolutely just arrogant? He tells what he observes in one way, but then he reserves the right to throw everyone in this one pot on oh, there is a good side and then there is a bad side. Is it truly that way? Or again, is he also someone who decides above God's will and ideal? That's kind of what it sounds like to me. Well, anyway, so there it is. Since I have such a special visitor here, when I see on how this person here in Ecclesiastes observed and then, gave his own opinion about things, like I do too. And when I see on how Jesus taught, yes, also kind of being among the nobility. Oh, no, Jesus was a part of the poor, was among the poor. This and that. No, actually, he was also with nobility. Okay, he was everywhere. Yes, as he's that leader that stands in the middle, that teacher, and teaches everyone. There isn't anyone better than the other one. From a king down to the poorest of the poor, beggar, whatever. He doesn't step up to anyone, and he doesn't step down to anyone. That's the amazing thing about Jesus. Yes? And how difficult it must have been for Jesus. It still is. To communicate that love. That love that's so elusive to all of us. Yes? That is so present in our heavenly parent. It's interesting that as women, men and women, committing to each other in marriage, this and that, because of love, mostly because of love. Yes, there's some horrible stuff going on still around the world when it comes to that. That people in certain countries just stand by while young girls are getting married to, forced to marry. What are these girls going to do? To old men. Is and then it's here it's on the internet. Yes, it's all on the internet there. And it's mind-boggling to me. It's unbelievable. That's wicked. That's, you want to call something wicked? That is. That's absolute wickedness. And you know, I don't live in this country, in that country, in these countries where they do that. But there are so many people there. Don't you have internet? Don't you have cell phones and TV and I don't know what? Don't you live in the modern world in a way? Yeah. What are these people still doing with girls? Huh? Men. It's mostly men. But gosh, are the women in these countries really such cowards? Oh yeah, you gotta stick your neck out. You won't do that for your own children? I don't get that. If all the women in these countries would say, no, you're not taking our girls anymore, well, then you're going to get killed. Well, then go ahead and kill us all. Gotta take a stance as women against stuff like that. Men, and that's teaching our men. This isn't going against them. What do people think were these men who are doing that? Fathers who are allowing that? Where do you think they're going to end up in spirit world? So again, it's not to go against, to rebel against their traditions. It's to save these people from these horrific, wicked things that they're doing against girls. Whew. Just want to say, Jesus was a great defender of women, by the way. Yes? Just saying. Yeah, I guess that's why that came out. That came out of nowhere in a way. It's something that our brother Jesus still wants to convey. What are you men doing out there? When it comes to your women and to your girls. Anyhow, so there. All right, that's it. Dear me. Huh? Yeah. And again, it's not. It's because of restoring. Got to restore things. This isn't just about being against something. This is about restoring something that has been going on for way too long. And in this day and age, still this is happening. Unbelievable. All right. Well, there we go. That's it. That's the end of it. I got to make sure that I don't make it too long. There's one part and two part in 7 because it just cut me off, and I'm going, yeah, but that was good. I'm not redoing this. Yeah. So so I just said, well, that's how I'm going to do it. Yes. Okay. So there's part 1 and then a short part 2. Yes, just to finish up the other one. That's kind of how I have to do it. So I'm going to do it that way. Yes. All right. May Heavenly Parent bless and protect you, guide you, embrace you with love. Aldrich, have a wonderful day if you watch this. And I will talk to you all another time.